kids have been like glued to their computers because of everything that with remote learning and COVID and this, that, and the other. You really need to get them outdoors, get them engaged. But when the weather is bad, if it's raining or if it's just too hot, like we saw last week, a great place to go is the Michigan Science Center. We're going to bring in Andy Zulkiewski. He's the exhibit manager of Math Alive, director of guest experience. Science Center, you have a cool job. Do you just walk around and play all day?
Sometimes it definitely feels like that. We have a lot of fun with our guests, and there's always stuff to blow up and play with and do all kind of experiments.
So I know it's been a crazy year, not just for parents and kids, but also for organizations such as yours. Because when you go into the Science Center, it's about that experience of touching and feeling. Is that back?
Absolutely. We put a lot of thought and work into it as we planned to reopen last summer. We put in a tremendous amount of work. Everyone on the staff is on what we call the clean team. We do a lot of regular disinfection and sanitation all around the building. And we've socially distanced our exhibits. Capacities in our theaters and in other spaces of the building have continued to adjust as state guidelines change. But yeah, we put a lot of really serious thought into it to make sure our guests are safe and healthy, and things have been going great since we opened last summer.
So Andy, I would think the kids are kind of bouncing off the walls when they go in there because it's so interactive and it's so fun.
Yeah, we really love our guests coming in. We still do a lot of our live presentations, which is really some of the cool things we do at the Michigan Science Center is the live interactive portion of it. The kids get really excited to learn about science, and really we put them at the center of science, getting them involved to be able to try these things while they're here, and when they leave, take some of that home with them and back to school, so they're excited and understand the world around them.
You think about all the kids that walk through the Science Center each and every year, and you're sparking imagination. You never know if that one interaction, that one visit creates the next big scientist. And you guys had a part in it.
Yeah, absolutely. We love those wow moments, whether it's between the staff or just opportunities to share out to the community. The moment that one kid, gets to look up at the stars in our planetarium, or just has that wow moment when they see something really cool on one of our stages for the first time, and they make that connection, and suddenly, hopefully, they're more comfortable with science, and maybe one day want to go into the science fields or something like that.
The cool thing about the planetarium, Andy, is it's not like my Skyview app where I get distracted and I walk around, walking my dog with the app, looking up, and then I trip either over the sidewalk or in a snowbank or something. It's a little bit safer at the planetarium.
Absolutely. Our staff is here to help out and lend their expertise and talk you through it. And hopefully you don't have to be wandering around in the dark too much. So.
But with that, you guys have so many exciting events going on. Tell us about some of the things that's planned for the summer months.
Absolutely. So we have our IMAX Dome Theater, our 4D theater are both open every day that we're open to the public. We have some great films in there, great for kid ages and also for all ages. We have live presentations going on every day. We have our live electricity theater, a science stage, different hands-on activities. And then, of course, we have our new traveling exhibit that'll be opening in just a couple of weeks called Math Alive, which we're really excited to get open to the public.
How do you bring math alive, Andy?
Well, we do it every day here at the Michigan Science Center. We put you at the center of science. And the really great thing about this exhibit, it not only introduces kids to the math around them, but lets them know or helps them see that they're using it every single day and everything that they do. And the more we understand it, really the more fun and engaging the world around us can be. So that's what the staff here is really talented at. And we love getting our guests involved and getting kids at the center of science to really experience it.
So I would imagine parents can learn a few things as well, but we all want to know, is it old math, fifth grade math, or the new math?
It's definitely looking at the new math, the technology all around us every single day. So the exhibit really focuses on things that kids love to do that all of us use in our everyday lives, and how math applies, talking about things like sports and technology, fashion, video games, robotics, all these different things that we use every day. And you have a chance to actually do them while you're here at the Science Center and try them out for yourselves.
So, Andy, what you're basically telling us is that when we're arguing with our parents as to why we actually need to take calculus, I'm never going to use this in my life, you're saying, no, you're using it every day. Maybe you just don't realize it.
Absolutely. You may not even think about it, but the way you may approach solving a problem or troubleshooting something, down to if you just have that little more involved understanding of it, you may be able to just apply that knowledge and figure out what you need to do and solve that problem.
Andy Zulkiewski with us here on the MegaCast. He's the exhibit manager for Math Alive and the director of guest experience for the Michigan Science Center in downtown Detroit. Andy, do you guys have any summer camps this year?
Absolutely. We're doing weekly summer camps in person here at the Michigan Science Center starting the last week of June, going all the way through, I believe, the second week of August. So new fun topic every week. Check it out. You can sign up on our website. Camp registration is still open. We have some spots left. So yeah, definitely one of our favorite things for the summer is to bring in our own campers. We also have some campers coming to visit us as well.
So it looks so different than it did last summer. And are you still doing remote events at all?
We still are. We have our what we call our Echo Live program. So our outreach department does regular online things that people can experience through our website. And also we do outreach and distance learning remotely as well. So we can come out to you. We can also have classroom programs with you. We've been doing virtual field trips online as well as the school year wraps up.
Because are you surprised that you've been able to reach so many people from across the globe, really? They've been tuning in to some of your programming.
Absolutely. We had a really solid program together before the pandemic hit, and it was a perfect opportunity for us to step it up, and there was such a need for it that we're absolutely thrilled with the response we've received, and we continue to push ahead and reach more audiences and inspire kids and everyone around the world that we can contact.
So, Andy, with that, we do know that the Science Center is also a nonprofit organization. It's been a tough year for a lot of nonprofits. On that side of the house, are things getting back in order?
Yes, so we're definitely seeing, just in terms of guest revenue and groups booking reservations and experiences, those are picking up. We have been very fortunate. We've been open since last July. Our development team has done an incredible job, and our donors and things like that have continued to support us, and we're just exceptionally grateful and happy to be open. So we continue to push ahead and hope to be through, the worst of this soon and more back to normal.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Sure. What's your favorite exhibit?
My favorite exhibit, I love that question. My favorite exhibit here, we have an Apollo trainer that was actually used by NASA astronauts, and it's in the building. It's been here since the late 70s. It just is a piece of history. There's so much just to learn by looking at it along with the other space exhibits. And if you lean in really close, you can smell everything inside of it. As weird as that sounds, it's an artifact, and also it's science right in front of you, where astronauts trained and prepared to go to space.
For so many kids, when we're talking about science and math, it can seem, for us that are kind of challenged in the math world, some of the careers could seem so far outside of our realm. What would you say to try to encourage students that math is for everyone?
Math is not something to be afraid of. The more you realize how much it can help you, and that it's not a scary thing, it's not a difficult thing, it's just a matter of getting the basics and then moving ahead from there. That's why we're really excited to have this exhibit here, so you can see that whether you're doing something like riding a skateboard, or if you're passionate about photography, or like to do coding and that kind of stuff, you're using those things all the time, and it's just a matter of getting used to part of it, and then you start to make those connections and just keep running with it.
Are you finding kids are more excited this time around, like this year, because they have been stuck at home in front of a computer screen?
Absolutely. As our box office staff to our education staff, seeing our guests come back into the building is putting smiles on our faces behind the masks, of course, and guests are just thrilled to be here. We've seen just an incredible amount of response. Everyone is happy to be here, and just getting back to more of the in-person side of life safely. People are just thrilled and super excited.
So with that, Matt or Andy, if I could ask you as well, are the hours, do you have reduced hours, or are you pretty much back on schedule?
For the most part, we're back on schedule. We're open Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. So we're in our summer hours. We added an extra day back. And then other than that, yeah, we're back to regular. Our theater capacities and capacity in the building is still somewhat reduced, but hours are back to normal.
With that too, so what is it, July 1st, the capacity limits are going to be lifted. So are you getting prepared for more people coming through?
Yeah, we've been working along with an organization called National Sanitation Foundation since last summer when we opened. And as each set of guidelines comes in, we've been preparing, weeks ahead of time. And when the official guidelines come out, we'll make those final adjustments based on what's there, how it applies to us, so that we can welcome as many guests safely as possible.
So if someone has never been there before, which is hard to believe because it is so cool, even for adults, by the way. If you can go ahead, especially, hey, if you're remote learning or remote working right now, you can do it remotely from the Science Center, because as an adult, even there's something for everyone at the Science Center. But for someone that maybe has never been there before, what should they expect once they walk through the doors?
Just to be wowed. There's so much to do. There's so much to see, new things going on all the time. Our live presentations are really, really fun. Our staff does a great job bringing the science to our guests. Our theaters are super popular. Our IMAX theater, we're doing a special presentation in our planetarium just for young kids called One World, One Sky, and also our 4D theater. And then we're super excited to have Math Alive here. All of our exhibits are hands-on interactive. Math Alive special traveling exhibit is included with general admission. So if you're coming down to see us, that's already included with admission. And it's just a chance to really get involved and just have some fun while you're here and play around with science.
So when we're talking about Math Alive, it really is setting kids up. If we can get them interested in math and science at a young age, it can really set them up for great careers down the road.
Absolutely. As part of the pandemic, we've been worried a lot about learning loss. It's called the COVID slip. And even beyond that, keeping kids interested in math and science between 3rd and 8th grade really can have a larger impact later in life, getting them excited about STEM. So bringing Math Alive in, that was one of the biggest parts of that decision. And just understanding, where math can lead you in life at an early age is just going to open up new horizons as kids get older.
How'd you get interested in math and science?
I came from a really solid math and science background, but my parents always encouraged me to just be curious and just try things out and experiment and have fun, in the world around you. So whether it's, playing sports or getting involved with computers and that sort of thing. So I always kind of came along with that. I actually went into the arts for my undergrad, and the Michigan Science Center was really an awesome combination of both. I come from a theater background. We bring science to the public here. So it's a really exciting combination of both those things, kind of a lifelong passion for me.
You're blending the best of both worlds there at the Science Center. With that too, Andy, when we're talking about, you mentioned the COVID slide. Mm-hmm. So for parents that are interested, if they're going to get a ticket, do they need to get the ticket online? Are you limiting the hours that someone is in there per ticket?
Absolutely. We encourage all guests to purchase tickets in advance online. It obviously speeds up the check-in time. It's going to make sure you have those tickets in advance. And we do control how many people per hour. We recommend guests limit their stay to about 2.5 to 3 hours, depending what you're doing, if you're going to stick around for a movie. But yeah, online is really the way to go. All tickets are available on our website. That's mi-sci.org. And there's also more information about showtimes and all the other experiences we have going on here.
Andy Zulkiewski with us here on the MegaCast. He's the exhibit manager for Math Alive and director of guest experience at Michigan Science Center in downtown Michigan. And with that, Andy, if I can ask you anything maybe I didn't touch on that you want to share before we let you go?
Yeah, so a great way to experience the Michigan Science Center is to get an annual membership. Our family memberships are most popular. That's free admission to the Michigan Science Center. It also gives you discounts on our theater, special programs, summer camps. If you're interested in signing up for summer camps, and membership's a great way to get a discount on that. And then also a membership to the Michigan Science Center gets you free or discounted membership or admission to science centers and other museums around the country and around the world. So really come on down, become a member, and you're opening yourself up to science all around the country.
So with the Math Alive exhibit, how long is it going to be here?
So we opened it on Saturday, June 26th, and it will be here through spring of next year. So we're going to have it for a good long time. It's an awesome exhibit for us and for Metro Detroit.
Well, you mentioned the COVID slide. After this past year and so many parents having to teach their own kids, I know a lot of them were going, no, we're going back to old math. So this is a good way to catch back up on your math skills.
Absolutely, that chance just to reinforce what you've learned, and also introduce yourself to new parts of math, depending what grade you're going into, or a parent if you need to brush up on some things and a few reminders. It's a great exhibit to interact with your kids around math, and to remind yourself of some of the things maybe you haven't used in a long time going back to grade school.
Go be a kid again. You don't need a kid.
Exactly.
Well, Andy, we so appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.